All right, what is up? Welcome to Speak Truth Sports. This is Bert. Today I'm here with Dorjee, and we are talking about how the AFC South is just the worst division in all of football right now, and why it's the worst division in all of football right now. Dorjee, you are a Titans fan.
Yes, I
So why don't you
am.
go ahead and kick this off? Why is everyone so bad in this division, man?
Oh, okay. Well, first I'll talk about the top two teams in the AFC South, the Titans and the Texans. So, well,
Which
the
which
Texans and
was
Colts
not
are.
that was not the projection in the slightest.
Yeah, yeah.
In the
I mean, to
slightest.
be fair, the Texans and Colts are both tied at 1-3, but we've had a pretty hard start to the schedule. We played the Cardinals, we've played the Seahawks, we played the Colts, and we just played the Jets. But the Colts had to play the Seahawks, the Rams, us, and they just beat Miami. So it's actually a pretty rough start to the season. But to talk about the Titans first, our O-line is really bad, man.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Last year,
Non-existent.
it was actually pretty good. Like Derrick Henry, 2K yard rushing leader. But this year, and I thought it would be somewhat good because Taylor Lewan came back from the ACL injury. And it's just been bad, man. It's been really bad. Tannehill's been assaulted so many times this year. He's been getting sacked. Like against the Jets, he got sacked 7 times. 7 times. That's
Against the Jets.
horrible. Yeah,
The Jets pass rush.
It's horrible, man. And not to mention, our defense slightly improved, but it's still god awful. If you watch the Arizona game, DeAndre Hopkins it looked as though he wasn't even being guarded. He was just open for most of his touchdowns, and also Captain Kirk too killed us. And I mean, Julio has been pretty solid, especially in that Seahawks game. He played really well.
Yep.
Again, he and AJ Brown got injured in week 3, and they missed the game that just happened. So pretty injury prone there. Ryan Tannehill is he's doing well. I just feel really bad for him because his O-line is really not making it easy for him. He's had to kind of rush his throws, or sometimes, especially the first game, especially when Harry got neutralized by Chandler Jones, Tannehill had to rely on scrambling a lot. And we all know he's pretty fast. He has some wheels, but I believe that without the play action and Henry going off, Tannehill's pretty limited. Especially also we saw in the Jets game, he's pretty solid, right? But he needs to establish a connection with his receivers, and his wide receivers were Chester Rogers, Nick Westbrook, Josh Reynolds. That's obviously not going to really go well. So
yeah, losing Arthur Smith as your offensive coordinator was a big loss. He's in Atlanta now with the Falcons. It was his schemes and his run pass options that really opened up Derrick Henry's dominance and Ryan Tannehill's resurgence. But without him now, honestly, it doesn't look like you guys have an identity on offense. And especially now that you've lost your top 2 receivers, it's going to be even harder to establish an identity. I mean, Derrick Henry's going to have to rush just 50 times a game, for you guys to win.
Give him 60 carries, man. I don't care. We just have to win. If we lose against Jacksonville, there's a really big problem. And also, some blame should go to Mike Vrabel too. Some of his decisions are especially on third down situations, he's hasn't made the smartest plays. And our new offensive coordinator, I don't know if you know him, Todd Downing. Todd Downing was our tight ends coach last year, and he got promoted. His play calls aren't the best, not as good as Arthur Smith. So.
Yeah, it's weird how they promoted their tight end coach, but I assume he's the best man for the job if that's what they think, at least.
Wow.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the Texans next?
Oh yeah, for sure.
They've been a surprise.
The Texans are.
They've been a surprise, a nice surprise.
Yeah, they haven't been actually terrible with Deshaun Watson not playing. They blew out the Jaguars in the first week. Tyrod Taylor is actually a decent quarterback, and they could have beat Cleveland in week 2, but I believe he got injured in that game.
Yep.
Yeah, so and they're going like to rely on like the rookie QB. So that obviously wasn't gonna be helpful as the Cleveland
Davis
Browns
Mills.
defense is really good. So the Texans aren't terrible, like in terms of like when they have Taylor, but ever since like they've just been kind of bad.
Yeah, they play hard on both ends. I'll give them that. They definitely have bought into what Dave Culley's selling them, but they just don't have the level of talent to win these games. But having the effort is a really good, important first step. It's a first step to building a winning culture. If they can start doing that, that'll be good for them. I think this year might be actually one of the few years in recent history that they actually have their own first. It's either this year or next year. But they're gonna be able to start rebuilding soon, like fully. And yeah, I like what they're doing so far. I'm surprised at how hard they fight every single night. I mean, I know this is an NFL team and you're supposed to do that every single night, but like, look at the Jets. Like, you're telling me they don't go down by 20 in a game, just lose hope. Like, stuff. Lions, stuff like that. But yeah, the Texans have been a very welcome surprise. But we got to talk about the biggest disappointment in the entire conference.
The Indianapolis Colts, my arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Honestly, like as much as I don't like them, I'm very surprised that they're 1-3 right now.
Yeah, a lot of it's been stuff that they shouldn't have an issue with. Their offensive line has been shaky. It's just the Carson Wentz curse. Whatever team he plays for, their line just falls apart.
Carson Wentz hasn't been that bad. I feel like he kind of rushes his throws, especially in the Tennessee game. He did not really trust his O-line that much. He just kind of rushed his throws, and that resulted in some pretty easy drops. But I have to say, they haven't been using Jonathan Taylor that much, which is really surprising, as he was a breakout player last year.
Yeah, they need to give him way more touches, honestly. I mean, I think they did in their last game.
Yeah, against Miami, he kind of went off.
And they won, didn't they? So
yeah, they did.
Look, I mean, look, you gotta play your talent, and you gotta maximize your talent. But something else that's also been off about the Colts is that their defense hasn't looked as good as everyone thought it was going to be. Everyone was kind of going for this year thinking they've got a top 10 defense. They're going to be really solid defensively. They were solid defensively last year, and they should be this year. I don't know if it's some combination of the schemes, the play calling, just something doesn't feel right about their defense right now.
They've had a fair bit of injuries, like for offense and defense.
Yeah,
they lost Nelson against Tennessee, and I believe it's a combination of injuries and just poor play calling as well, especially on offense. Like they haven't. Yeah. I believe before week 3, they had the worst red zone offense in the league. Like they could not score when they're in the red zone. So,
which is so weird because they have Michael Pittman and they have other targets. Like they have a solid core of receivers.
They have Pascal. They have. They also have. They have Hines. Yeah, as a running back.
He's a really good pass catcher out of the backfield as well. There's just a lot of talent on this team, even after the injuries. There's still a lot of talent on this team, and it's just not stacking up with their expectations. Let's look at the Baltimore Ravens, for example. They have 15 players on IR. They have lost half their starters on defense. They lost Marcus Peters, their second most important cornerback, and they're still doing fine. I mean, they had a rough week 1 because they were still adjusting, but they got the ball rolling immediately. They had their coaching is able to mitigate what's going on. So this kind of makes me question the coaching a little bit also in Indianapolis.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is the coaching really up to snuff?
Just to also go off of that Baltimore point, ever since that week 1 loss, you guys have been really be able to be stable. I mean, in week 3, that game against the Lions, your receivers they're kind of shaky. I mean, Marquise Brown was
really shaky.
Something, but the
game open touchdowns.
You guys were really good in that game, and against the Chiefs as well.
Yeah, it's just been with the Colts, even though they've had injuries to their defense, their offense should be good enough to win them games still.
Exactly.
they're
I mean,
trending
like,
upward. They're trending upward right now, but like, is this really trending upward? Because I mean, they beat the Dolphins, right?
yeah, they did.
They beat kind of a handicapped team there. They weren't at their full strength at all, right? So
Honestly, they should be 2-2 right now, but they blew the game against the Rams in week 2.
oh yeah,
Also, against the Seahawks, they could have beat them as well, honestly. It was only 28-16.
yeah.
It's just poor play calling, man.
Yeah, and also, I do want to explain why we're calling this the worst division in all of football. Because every other division has at least one team with 3 wins. This division does not at all. So this is why we're calling it the worst division in football right now. And that could change. You know, the outside of the Bills, the AFC, are they the North, I believe? AFC North? No, sorry. What am I talking
AFC
about? AFC East. Yeah, the AFC East is not looking great right now. Everyone's 1-3 except for the Bills are 3-1. But yeah, I mean, the AFC South has been so consistently bad with all of their teams, and it's all for numerous different reasons. And it's so weird. It's all just each team has their own story for why they're bad, but they're all bad right now. And then the Jags. The Jaguars,
like the basement of the NFL, pretty much.
Oh,
dude, like honestly, they've just been. I can't really say like they've been like a disappointment because like we kind of like knew like they'd be bad.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd be like this bad. Like
you know what? That should speak to how bad they are because we expect them to be bad and we're still disappointed.
Like Urban Meyer, like we already made we already had discussion about him and their defense is so bad. Like if you think like our defense is bad. Like I watch Tennessee on a regular basis. Our defense is bad, but if you watch Jacksonville, their defense is worse than bad.
It's porous. Like it is literally like honestly, I could probably rush for 50 yards against that team.
Honestly,
I'm just playing.
I wouldn't be shocked if you did, to be honest.
I'm just playing, but we talked about the Jaguars and what's going on and what they can do in the future at length in a previous video on the channel.
Like they have potential like to be solid in the future, like not like right now, but like if they get a decent coaching staff and just use their like especially Trevor Lawrence, they have to use him well. It's a first overall pick, so
yep.
They might be good in the future. I believe that they could be at least an AFC South contender. I don't know about like for the Super Bowl, but especially since like Tennessee is getting kind of old now. Like Tannehill's 33 already, and Derrick Henry, running backs don't last that long. And yeah, basically like our only like young, like good players is Taylor Lewan and AJ Brown, pretty much. Everyone else is like getting to the peak already.
Yeah, it's surprising when you hear Tannehill's 33, but then you remember how many years he had wasted in Miami with Adam Gase, the quarterback killer Adam Gase. Literally every player that's left Adam Gase has turned into a really solid player, like since they left him. It is just so Dorjee, we both expect the Titans to make the playoffs, or at least win the division to make the playoffs.
Hopefully, like we have a 2-game advantage, so we better win the division.
But at the same time, like, how do you feel about what they're gonna do after, like, once they make playoffs? Can they win a first round matchup?
Honestly, dude, it just depends on obviously health.
Yeah.
William and AJ must be healthy.
Yeah.
Because Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, they're relatively healthy. They don't really get knocked up that much. I mean, Tannehill has he's been pretty much getting assaulted every single game because O-line's been selling him. We've had injuries for our O-line as well, but still, you cannot like defend 7 sacks against the New York Jets. You just can't defend that. And our defense has been really inconsistent because against Seattle, the first half they were awful, but the second half they really turned up. And the Colts, they were decent as well. And then the Jets, you saw what happened. Zach Wilson absolutely torched us. That's the offensive rookie of the year right there. And
all right. How about this? Let me give you some teams that are like projected to make playoffs right now. Right, you tell me, can the Titans beat this team if they matched up in the first round? Ready?
All right.
The Buffalo Bills.
I don't think so at the moment. I mean, the Bills, they haven't like looked that dangerous. I mean, they just blew out the Texans. Like they shut them
I
out.
don't know,
But
man. Week
it's
one,
possible, honestly. It's possible. But like
week one, they didn't look good, but since after week one, they've been going crazy. I mean,
we play them next Monday night, so we'll see from there.
we will see from
We'll
there.
talk about that.
I expect if that's a matchup, I expect the Bills to do really, really good in that.
It's in Tennessee, so I mean, like anything's possible.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Chargers.
That's a very tricky one. The Chargers have been really good on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Honestly, I think we could beat them. It'll be very close. Like Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen will be torching us all game, but I think
I got the Chargers in that one, but not by much. That'll be a close matchup.
honestly it's debatable. Honestly,
I'm not even gonna touch the Broncos. They're not gonna make the playoffs. I'm sorry, Broncos fans. The Raiders. You know what? Yeah,
the Raiders. I think we could beat the Raiders. Honestly,
it's not gonna be. It's gonna be close, but you guys could do it. They have they kind of have a little bit of weakness against running backs right now, and Derrick Henry's one of the best in the game.
Yeah,
Probably the best pure runner in the game.
and also like, just to go off of that point of pure runner. Yes, he's obviously known as someone who just like trucks his way, just go stiff arms everyone. But this season, like he's actually been catching the ball fairly well.
Yes,
Like, been throwing to him. He's been catching the ball. That's really, really important. Like he needs to do that because other than just like running and blocking, like he doesn't really do much after that, which kind of ticks me off. And if he could like catch the ball consistently, then I think Mike Vrabel can like think about like keeping him on third down. That'll be really useful in the playoffs.
yeah, because you guys could use that against Baltimore in the playoffs last year, like that type of pass catching. Speaking of Baltimore, could you beat Baltimore?
This is a very touchy subject as both our teams hate each other. Obviously, like we won against you guys 2 years
Step on the logo and you'll lose. I'll say that.
Huh?
Step on our logo again. You will.
No,
lose.
that was a misunderstanding. But you guys beat us last year, and the way you guys beat us is like you guys kind of exposed Derrick Henry, like sort of, not fully. You guys kind of like neutralized him. You just gotta send as much body as you can at Henry, and yeah, you guys did that really well. Like he was pretty much non-existent in that game. Like I didn't even see him. Like Tannehill had to throw the ball a lot.
So you got Baltimore in that game?
Oh, honestly,
Yeah.
it will be very close. But the fact that also like you have Lamar Jackson who could obviously rush, and our rush defense got slightly better. But yeah, I think I would give Baltimore the edge there.
The Bengals.
This is a tricky one because the Bengals blew us out last year. But
Oh, man.
that was like, see,
Nah.
I just
think you guys
realized
can take it.
last year the Bengals blew us out, right? That was like Joe Burrow's like first like breakout game. And then this year Zach Wilson torched us. And we just love giving like rookie QBs a great game. But yeah, I think we could beat them. The Bengals have looked pretty solid so far. But the combination of Henry and now we have Julio and AJ, I believe we could beat them.
If fully healthy, yeah, I think you guys could take the Bengals. I think they're kind of playing a little above their pay grade right now, but shoot, if their defense can hold up, they have a chance to win it. Cleveland Browns.
Honestly,
You know what? I'm gonna say y'all have a chance because Cleveland has been in games that have been closer than they should have been, and they've also kind of blown leads that they shouldn't have. So I think if they're not consistent, if they cannot get consistent by the end of the year, and depending on how Odell does or if he's hurt or any like that stuff, I think the Titans could take that game. But I think almost every other matchup, I think you guys have a serious chance of losing. So
yeah, it's just honestly, it's like we have like potential to like make like a deep playoff run.
Yes.
But it's just our health and our O-line and our defense. That's all that matters. Like our offense is gonna like single-handedly like win us games, but our defense has to fix up.
And right now with AJ and Julio out, Derrick Henry is just the offense. So Derrick Henry is going to single-handedly win you games.
Like, if we don't win against Jacksonville, which I highly doubt that we won't lose, Mike Vrabel needs to start answering some questions, man. Last year, like he proved that okay, he was a capable coach, but this year He's making very questionable decisions, and yeah, we'll go from there. We'll see how we do in the playoffs if we do make it this year, which I expect we do. If we don't do well in the playoffs, we'll see from there. We could probably maybe move on from Vrabel, or just try to help him out with, like, because our offensive coordinator is very what's the word, arrogant. He's pretty arrogant. He doesn't use the play action that much, honestly. If you watch our games, Tannehill's been throwing the ball a lot, and it's been a lot of slants as well. It hasn't been working that well either. So
Yeah, I think it's more likely they fire their OC before they fire Vrabel. I think they give Vrabel another year or two. But yeah, you definitely gotta start questioning, is he the right coach for this team going forward? But yeah, we still got a whole chunk of the season left, and we were only like 1/5 through it, 1/4 through it.
Yeah,
so
we're going to week 5 now. It's actually crazy. It's been already 4 weeks already.
Yeah, it's blown by really fast. But yeah, that's all I really got to say on everything going on. The worst division in the NFL. I've been Bert.
And I've been Dorjee.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And we'll catch you guys next time. So thank you so much.